What's going on, creators? Yeah, I just want to get on here and bring everybody back to now. Appreciate y'all being here and vibing with me for a bit. Yeah, today I want to kind of continue the conversation about accepting what is, whatever's presenting in the moment, whatever's unfolding. But in that, to make that connection, that also includes how you're feeling, and includes your state of being, to radically just accept yourself, because what you're seeing in the mirror of reality is your state of consciousness that you're embodying. And the thing with embodying states of consciousness is not who you are. So you're at any moment able to shift what you're being in relationship to what the external world is presenting. So one of the quickest ways, and it's not always the easiest thing to do, it takes a little bit of practice, especially if you're like in a I don't know, kind of a feedback loop, basically, of maybe like anger, where it's like you feel separate from the circumstance, and then your anger at the circumstance just kind of compounds, and you start getting more and more angry. And then you start experiencing more and more angry and difficult situations because you're experiencing the reflection of that state. And you start getting in this feedback loop where it gets worse and worse and worse until you eventually, you maybe are attacking the outer world, or attacking yourself mentally and spiritually on the inside. It doesn't really matter if you're, saying it out loud to somebody else or just saying it internally to yourself. It does the same thing. But the thing of it is, it's like making sitting there resisting and battling with it starts to strengthen it, and it might be hard to hear at first because it's so, especially like in my case, it's so part of my programming that I got to let go of is, wanting to fight and battle against shit and just like, destroying. I just want to destroy. I want to fight. I want to kick its ass, and that kind of mentality. And I'm starting to realize how fruitless that is. It's like it feels on some level good to do until it's like maybe you get in an argument with somebody, and then the argument lasts like 5 minutes of clock time. And then you're, yelling at the person, or like hoping something bad happens to the person, like all day. It's like you just want to, I should have said this to this asshole, and fuck this guy, and and just you just start spinning out, and you just over and over again all day long. Even though that other person more than likely doesn't even give a shit anymore and has gone to do whatever, and then you're stuck with this mental story that you're telling yourself all day, and going. For one, then instead of sitting there battling against it, just okay, this is what is. I'm in a state of anger. Okay, well, I'm going to choose to experience the opposite because this doesn't feel good. This sucks. And now all of a sudden, now something new in my environment just did something to piss me off. It's, I'm hitting every red light as I'm already late. That's fantastic. Great, and start to lighten up about it, and consciously start to realize that what you're experiencing is a reflection of a state. And so as you accept what's going on externally, you're also accepting what's going on within, and purging a lot of that stuff, and letting it go, and forgiving the situation, because you start to realize more and more how malleable things are, and that nothing, everything is temporary, that it'll pass, and that maybe the person that pissed you off, or the circumstance or the event that pissed you off, or whatever, it's not who that person actually is. It's just somebody who's embodying a state, whether they're consciously aware of it or not. Most people are unconsciously drifting into states, and so you can start to I wouldn't even start to trying to change people's state, unless they actively bring it to you, like, this sucks and I wish this could be different. Put yourself in their shoes, because we're all kind of mirroring things to each other. And if you were in that state, would you want to would you want to just be whim to the consequences of that state? Because that's the other part of things, is that every state has a kind of a consequence, has a thing attached to it, so as you drift into these different states, and a lot of these states of separation that aren't real, have consequences of suffering attached to them unconsciously, and so that's a great way to start to make that shift, is when you start to notice yourself drifting away from peace, especially, start looking at peace as being the end goal, to whatever external means that you're trying to achieve. And so, instead of looking outside of yourself and going, oh, if I only had, something, I don't know, fill in the blank. Oh, if I only had better relationships. Oh, if I only had better this. If I only had more of that. If only I was working at a place that, whatever. It's like, then I could be happy. Then I could, start to look at everything as being, okay, well, this is what you're able to handle without resistance and without pushing anything else away. As backwards as that sounds, and a lot of times you want to fight against that, like, oh no, I could handle so much more, and that's nonsense that I'm pushing it away. And it's like, well, then why are you not expressing a state of being totally blessed and having everything work out perfectly, and just everything just showcasing just the opposite of fear, which is the undesirable. Why isn't everything not being representing desirable? And you start kind of getting into that kind of mode, and 9 times out of 10 there's it's a bit of programming of separation that's preventing that full realization of love ultimately. That's you pushing love away. And as crazy as that is, and it's like, you are already blessed right now. The only reason it doesn't exist in your reality, in your life, is because you push it away because of programming and limiting beliefs. That's it. And that's the only thing keeping you from it. Nothing is keeping it from you other than that, besides you. And until you fully accept that, you can start to realize, oh, I'm looking into the mirror of life, of consciousness, and it's like, oh, whatever, key area, money, relationships, your marriage, especially, all of these big, things of being a human, all these key areas of your life. One of them might be a 9 out of 10, but another one might be a 1 out of 10. So it's about finding this balance, and you don't do that balance by trying to wrestle the external situation to the ground. It's would you break the mirror because you wanted to see it smile, your reflection, or would you just smile? It's almost like that impersonal. As weird as that might and triggering as that might be, there's a very impersonal aspect to it, because when you start to drift into unconscious states of separation, guess what? There's many states that to confront you in that, and you can look down into the abyss of that all you want, and use it for there's an excuse for separation, because you can everything exists now. So yeah, you can look, everything's happening right now. Someone's getting murdered right now. Someone's giving birth right now. It's all happening now. And so it's like, where do you want to put your attention? You want to put your attention on what you're not, because there's going to be there's going to be something for you to see. There's going to be somebody unconsciously embodying that state. That doesn't mean that that's what that person is that state. They're just embodying a state. So you start embodying a different state. Start embodying peace. Maybe that's your new state. Embody abundance, and you make that choice in every moment as it unfolds now. That's the thing. You don't got to wait to start to change your state, because the signs follow. They don't precede. So as you change the state, as you maybe catch yourself in a state of anger, making the unconscious conscious, then all of a sudden choose the opposite, choose the desired state. And this is where it's kind of maybe tricky for the old way of thinking to embody something first before there's any sign of its reality. And so you start practicing that more and more, so especially if you're spinning out, start to accept the situation, and in that you're accepting yourself in that moment. Forgive the situation, forgive that state, because that state also exists within you, and you have embodied that same thing, probably at the same exact level, and it might just be too difficult to look in the mirror and accept that, until you start to do that, and then you start to level up and you start to let the shit go, and you start to make big strides in your self-concept, which really is a big deal. It's probably the biggest deal, is your identity and self-concept and the assumptions and beliefs that go along with that. Neville Goddard would say, there's no one to change but self, and with that kind of understanding of everybody is mirroring states of consciousness within you. God orchestrates how this plays out to show you this miraculous these states of consciousness. You could have a belief that I don't know, that long hair is better than short hair for guys. You just believe that. It's like, and don't be surprised, and then all of this supporting evidence starts to come out. It's like, oh, you see, like I had a belief that long hair is better, and so now I got all this evidence to support it, and it makes me believe it even more. And there's even more evidence, and it's like, look at energy, frequency, vibration, all comes through your hair, and you have this big, gigantic story about it. Even though your beliefs really started to shape that, and then it's like it's almost like a feedback loop, an opposite feedback loop, where it's showing you more and more desirable things, but not getting carried away, with the reflection, the non-physical aspects of reality, but to look at it more as like game-like and have fun with it, and not take it so fucking seriously all the time. It's like, I'm radically expanding my business. I got 2 guys now working for me. I got a 3rd guy coming in a week. And, my phone, is like really trying to adjust to this new style of things. Where in the past, got real comfortable, just doing everything myself. And now it's, about, letting others, trusting others more, and looking at any situation that happens with that always is being reflective of beingness, of limiting beliefs, and to start to shift those, thinking, I think I brought this up in the last stream, about the heater, and how once you move in a new direction, it's like turning a heater on in a room. It's like your faith in that new state, in that new direction. It comes up with, actually, you almost face a lot of maybe initial resistance as your old beliefs are being shown to you. And that's almost a better way to look at things, when you're just like, oh, I'm really going to get healthy. I'm going to put my attention on maybe health. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to look really hot and beach body type shit. And like and next thing you start on this this new kind of lifestyle of exercise and fitness and eating whatever's, and and then next thing you got like an illness, or it's like, oh, I just gained 5 pounds. So, you start dealing with a lot of these limiting beliefs that are keeping keeping that desired healthy body, or whatever, away from you. It's like, oh, why is, like, every time I try to do something different, I get all this resistance. It's like, well, because your limiting beliefs are then that are keeping you stuck in this little box, in this state. It's like, maybe draw this for you guys. It's like, looking at creation as being finished. It's like there's infinite amount of these states already existing in the I don't know, the multiverse, I guess. And so you could be in this state over here, but you want to get maybe there's something that needs to go on to get you over here. Well, when you first start moving in that direction, you hit this wall of resistance that's keeping you from over here. But as you persist, you get led through these bridges of incidents without you even being consciously aware, to get you to this final state, that state that you actually desire to be. As long as you keep persisting, and you don't come up to this first wall and give up and just settle for this state, and as you maybe move into this state over here, you get things that happen, just random life things start to unfold. It's always happening now. And so live in this state at the end. And as you come through these different challenges or whatever, these bridges of incidents, don't let it take away your peace, what you're trying to actually achieve by that state anyway, which looking at everything in the outer as being a shadow of a feeling, of a state of being inwardly, and so connect with that state first, feel the vividness of its reality, and look at that as you just planted that, and then you will experience that in the physical reality, as long as you keep persisting in that state as though it's done. It's who you are. It's your new self-concept. It's you are whole and complete, and you're radically going to accept yourself right now. God loves you right now, who you are and what God created you to be. And you start to kind of change that momentum. Instead of like feeling like a broken toy, it's like, oh, you're not good enough and this and that. You start to radically accept yourself, just as you would radically accept the moment as it is. Accept how you're feeling about things in the moment. It's like, yeah, maybe you are pissed off. Okay, so what? How long you won't be like that? It's only ever now. So it's like you can spend the eternal now pissed off if you feel like it. And eventually, you probably get to a point where you're done with it and want to experience a different state that's more desirable. Well, then start to embody that new state. Make the choice. Choose it. Choose it. It's that simple. It's like things are not what you have been taught or led to believe. Things are more quantum and spiritual, and and this is be a lot more fun, especially when you start to realize how it works and you start to really go for it. Because it's one thing to hypothetically think about these things, to live in theory land, but it's another to go balls in and to put it to the test. I encourage all you guys to put it to the test, because that's how you'll know for sure. Don't just listen to others, like myself, without putting it to the test. Put everything I'm saying to the test in your own life, and you'll see it working. It's always working, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. A lot of times it's just working backwards. It's like, oh, it's working, but it's working opposite. I'm just experiencing everything I don't want, and through understanding, and that's God-given. All you have to do is ask, believe, receive, and it's yours. And the Bible says that ask for wisdom, and understanding is more precious than gold. And so definitely, if you haven't been aware of that, definitely ask for wisdom and understanding. And with that being said, I think I'm gonna bounce. Thanks for listening, everybody, and have a good rest of your now, and God bless.